Hello everyone. We would like to welcome everyone to our presentation. The title of our presentation is The Rise of Foreign Nationals in Politics. I am Sriwang Chu and my co-presenter is Disha Mehta. I'll be presenting on the rise of Kamala Harris in USA and Disha will present on Rishi Sunak in the UK. Um, these are the few of the theories and concepts that we chose to use while discussing this comparative case study. These are the overview of the areas that we'll discuss in our presentation for each of the countries. And in my case, I'll be covering on Kamala Harris of the USA, and my co-partner Isha will cover on Rishi Sunak of the United Kingdom. A brief background on Kamala Harris. She was born in Oakland, California in 1964 to her immigrant parents from India and Jamaica. She attended Howard University and earned her law degree from University of California, Western College of Law. She served as a prosecutor and she is well known for her tough stance on crime and commitment to fighting for the victim rights. In 2010, she was elected as the Attorney General of California and gained national attention for her work on consumer protection, environmental justice, and civil rights. In 2016, she was elected to the United States Senate, and she was well known for her work on issues such as crime, criminal justice reform, immigration, and healthcare. After that, she announced her candidacy for President of the United States of America in 2019, but she dropped out of the race in the same year. But in the same but again, she came to the political limelight in 2020 after she was chosen as the running mate for Joe Biden. And after winning the election, she created history for being the first woman, first black person, and the first person of South Asian descent to become the Vice President of the United States of America. Kamala Harris' identity as the first woman, first black person, and the first person of South Asian descent to be elected as a Vice President of the United States has been a major focus of media coverage. Many media outlets have highlighted her historic achievement and its significance for women and people of color. Kamala Harris' career as a prosecutor has been a major focus of media coverage. Some media outlets have portrayed her as a tough on-crime prosecutor who has been criticized for her record on issues like mass incarceration and police reform. The media portrayal of Kamala Harris has been a complex and multifaceted. While some media outlets have praised her historic achievement and progressive policies, but others have criticized her record as a prosecutor and questioned her political ambition. Um, Kamala Harris is the daughter of an Indian immigrant mother and a Jamaican immigrant father. Though she was raised mostly by her mother, the news media has primarily identified Harris as a black woman, an aspect of her identity that some argue will be crucial in mobilizing voters. Others suggest that her Indian ancestry adds something unique, bending stereotypes about model minorities and paving the way for greater Asian representation in the American politics. And some argue that her multiracial background may help her build coalition of support across racial groups. Harris has made frequent appearances in TV programs to discuss her policies and platform. These appearances were amplified through social media, with clips and highlights of her appearances shared widely online. Harris and her team utilize social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to reach out to potential voters and build a new followings. They posted a mix of personal and political content, including photos and videos of Harris on the campaign trail, clips of her speeches and interviews, and message about her policies and position on the key issues. This allowed her to connect with supporters in a more personal and direct way and encouraged engagement and sharing among her followers. Harris' campaign team ran targeted digital ads on various platforms including social media, search engines, and streaming services. This ad helped to raise awareness of Harris and her policies among key voters demographic and encourage people to take action, such as donating or signing up as volunteers. Um, During her election, it was in 2019, and it was during the COVID pandemic. And due to this pandemic, many of Harris' campaign events were held virtually using platforms like Zoom and YouTube. So these events allowed Harris to connect with supporters in a safe and accessible way and provided opportunities for engagement and interaction with potential voters. And from here on, my co-partner Disha will present. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I am here to present about Rishi Sunak, the rise of Rishi Sunak in the UK. Thank you so much, Shireen, for your presentation. Basically, Rishi Sunak was born to Hindu Punjabi parents in Southampton, London. He studied politics and economics at the prestigious Oxford University. The Prime Minister of the UK further went on to study a master's in business administration at the Stanford University in California, USA, where he also met his wife, Akshata Murthy. Commencing his career with Goldman Sachs, he began his journey in politics when he was elected to the House of Commons for Richmond in North Yorkshire in 2015. Sunak was appointed as one of the ministers in the second cabinet of Prime Minister Theresa May in 2017. He was elected as Chief Secretary to the Treasury in July 2019 by Johnson, following which he was promoted to the Chancellor of the Exchequer by to the office of the Chancellor of the Exchequer by Johnson in 2020. He also played a very key role in implementing the government's financial measures during the coronavirus. Sunak won the election finally in 2020, taking over Liz Truss, to whom he first lost the election. And eventually he became the premier Asian Hindu origin Prime Minister to lead Great Britain. Some say it's a circle because India was a colony of the Great Britain and now an Indian really was ruling Great Britain. So, anyway, um, moving on. So, here the actors involved are the media houses of the UK, Rishi Sunak, citizens of the UK, and the ruling government. The audiences are just general public of the UK. And the aim here is to study how politicians use the media framing policy to serve their own interests and influence the opinions of voters. So, the media portrayal of Rishi Sunak, or you can say how the media framed Rishi Sunak, was that they framed him as the savior of the economy. They thought that they really, portrayed him or framed him as the only one who could save the economy of the Great Britain. And leaders around him offered their congratulations when he was elected. Everyone was sort of relieved that Johnson was not elected and Liz Truss was off because she served only for a few weeks and she did not really impress anybody. Also, EU leaders breathed a sigh of relief that Sunak was elected. Everyone really believed, in his wit, really, in his economic and financial knowledge. That's why everyone was really relieved when he was elected. Also, the media framed him as the only one, who was capable of bringing Great Britain back to its previous glory. I mean, in those few months when Liz Truss was elected, India took over the Great Britain, Britain's economy, So everyone really wanted someone who knew really the fiscal measures, who knew the economy very well to rule the country rather than just any other politician. So that's where Rishi Sunak really filled out the shoes. He was also lauded by the media for several of his measures, such as Eat Out to help out schemes and coronavirus job retention policies, that he was the brain behind these policies and during the pandemic, and he implemented them along with Johnson. So another media theory that really relates to the example of the rise of Rishi Sunak in the UK is the hybrid media theory. So hybrid media theory basically involves, the amalgamation of social media, visual events, digital media, and the news, like how Shireen explained before. But I'm just gonna. I've already explained the news and news channels and newspapers portrayal of Rishi Sunak, and now I'm gonna explain you the social media portrayal. So Rishi Sunak is, of course, a very active media user, and he promotes brand Rishi. All of his videos and reels posted promotes brand Rishi, and he really has portrayed this imagery, which is about a modern, down-to-earth politician who can relate to the problems of the common people and fix them. Um, this has also enabled him to form a personal and emotional bond with his audiences. So when you post about personal moments with your wife or with your children in the home, or playing sports somewhere, your favorite sport, and really mixing up with your employees or something like that, or playing pool with your employees, that's where people think that, oh wow, this politician, he's such a great prime minister. He also values everyone. And he's very accessible on social media. Even common people can see him. A lot of newspapers, really, The Guardian, The Economics, when I was doing my research, really framed him as a social media star just a few weeks before he took over office. And so this is where even other politicians are examples of Sanna Marin in Finland and Narendra Modi in India. Sanna Marin handles her own social media account, and she's really applauded for, you know, getting in touch with the audiences and all. In fact, there was a scandal about one of her videos, I think, which got leaked, where she was just partying with her friends because she's an active social media user. And Finland, because it's supposed to be a very conservative sort of country, which takes pride upon just being really behind the curtains, did not really appreciate their prime minister going viral, dancing in skirts, really. But she came on really strong, and I mean, as a woman, I really admire her. And there are many other examples of nowadays politicians using, the social media along with the media and, other virtual appearances like Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi has visited all the cities of in the world, I think, in his first term when he became the prime minister, and he sort of virtually appeared at events. So this is where the hybrid media theory again really applies when you are, you know, merging virtual events and digital media, social media, and newspapers and news channels all together. You're basically giving 100% presence to the audience and influencing their opinions to vote. So that's where all our hybrid. Sorry, I forgot to include these discussion questions. We just had to think about them. So I'll just quickly narrate the questions. How did Kamala Harris's use of media for political communication evolve through her career? What strategies did she employ to adapt to changing media landscapes and effectively communicate with different audiences. And what and also, the next question is about Rishi Sunak. So Rishi Sunak has been at the forefront of economic decision making in the UK while the country was facing a crisis. How has Sunak effectively used different media channels and communication strategies to engage with the audiences, build support for his policies, and manage public perception of his role and responsibilities as a chancellor? Thank you. Media theory applies, and these are our references. Thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed our presentation.